Lakers land Harrell.
And Pat Beverly.
Joe Harris is returning to Brooklyn.
Ugh.
Alex Burks agreed to go to the Knicks. Inside the miscommunication that led Dwight Howard to tweet he's coming back to the Lakers, but really went to Philly.
Oh, yeah, you went to Philly. I saw that too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is that on Bleacher Report?
Shit. Trey Burks staying in Dallas. Look at all these. Anthony Gill. Who is you?
Jake, do you know an athlete who has his first and last name that starts with an A? Think about that when you're done with what you're doing. Because we were playing categories and I couldn't think.
Anthony Anderson? No, he's the actor. Sorry.
Okay, I was like, damn, is it really? But,
with an A? Double A?
Double A, yeah. Double. Tits and I both said the same one, though. We said Allen Iverson. But he's not double A. So we didn't get double points. We only got a single point.
You were playing categories?
Yes. Do you know that game? It's the best.
I love that game.
Same. It's so fun. It's fun with a group, but we were cracking up.
Shoot.
That game is so fun.
Oh, whoop. Welcome,
everybody,
to
JocKstrap.
So that was a practice intro, and if you listen to us regularly, we're just trying to find our niche or niche, if you will.
Or niece, if you're Eric Matthews.
Might be niche.
Nick Lachey.
Today we come to you with excitement because we have a name. Our name
official
is JocKstrap.
JocKstrap. Yes.
So what up, everybody? Welcome to JocKstrap. Today on JocKstrap, we could talk some JocKstrap stories. Talk about different.
I certainly can, but I'll listen and learn.
Materials that used, but we want to dive right in to NBA free agency because it's happening as we
poppin', guys.
Speak.
It's straight poppin'.
Now, for those of you who live under a rock, go get a phone. If you don't have a phone, go grab your little sister, grab her phone.
Damn it. I shall approve.
That's experienced.
All my little sisters run away.
And go see who the Lakers just picked up. It's one Montrezl Harrell. Didn't he play for I thought LA had another team, but I don't know.
Do they?
I feel like they're so irrelevant. I can't remember. I don't know. He played for some team that shares an arena with us, and
those.
It's kind of like the little sister to your city.
Nice.
That same little sister you just went and grabbed the phone from. That's kind of like this team that Montrezl Harrell used to play for.
Yeah, he just got annoying without a phone.
He just got a clue and signed with the Lakers because he wants to win a ring. Signed a 2-year deal worth $19 million or $18 million. 18? 19.
That's great.
And so I feel like we got him on the cheap. He's the reigning sixth man of the year, meaning that he was the best bench player in the league last year. And I think we got one, man. He brings energy, he brings defense, he brings hustle, he brings just all the garbage points. What I mean by garbage points is kind of like doing the nitty gritty stuff, being physical, getting in, getting offensive rebounds, getting his points that way. He doesn't require you to run a play or a set for him. He can pick up scrappy points. He is a scrappy personality. And more importantly than anything, it weakens the Clippers. So, as I mentioned, we share the same building with them. We're constantly, not that it's that hard, but we're constantly, trying to fight and jockey for positioning in terms of the LA sports landscape. And, along with the Dodgers, I would say we're always pretty close to being number one, especially with both of us winning it this year. But it's a really, really solid pickup. We don't have a lot of financial flexibility. We had just lost Dwight Howard, even though he tweeted he was coming back to us. And once again, Dwight it's just kind of the way he's left both times has been just kind of clunky and awkward and sideways.
Yeah.
But
How does that even work? Could he do that?
Yeah, he sent
Just do
a
that.
tweet saying, Laker Nation, I'm staying where I belong. Never gets old being in purple and gold. And then he quickly deleted that tweet, maybe by advisement from his agent or whatever. I don't know. But
Probably.
then the next thing you hear about him is he's on his way to Philly. So with Montrezl Harrell, we get younger, we get more skilled, more depth for sure in our front court. And again, when you can weaken a rival, especially one that you share the same building with, especially one that, is projected to, on paper, be quote unquote better than you and more talented and more of a contender. Those are the things we heard all last season, and not much has changed in terms of their roster. So I don't know if people are going to try those ones again to say that they're a better team and a better roster than us. At the end of the day, we have LeBron James and Anthony Davis. So debate how you will, but we just weakened their team. We just got stronger. We also signed Wesley Matthews, shooting guard, veteran. He's, if you want to call him that 3-and-D type of player, meaning he can play defense. He does play defense, and he can hit the three. Is he as good of a pure shooter as Danny Green? I would say no. Danny Green, who we just traded to Oklahoma City and was then flipped to Philadelphia himself.
Oh, man. So much movement.
I've never seen players who've been traded once and then get traded multiple times, like 2 days after, as much as – and maybe it has something to do with the kind of the abbreviated offseason.
Right.
And everything. But Danny Green has been traded twice, in the last week. Trevor Ariza, Ricky Rubio.
Jeez.
Yeah, so there's been like a handful of players been traded like twice in the same week, and so I've never seen that before. But
wow.
But we're making do with the offseason. We signed Wesley Matthews. He'll replace Danny Green, and then we obviously again in that deal that we sent Danny Green to Oklahoma City, we got Dennis Schroeder, who was runner-up, or maybe he came in third for a sixth man of the year last year. Man. So we got 2 out of those 3 sixth man of the year on our team for this year.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, I'm actually really excited about Schroeder. Is that how you pronounce it? Schroeder?
I know.
Schroeder.
I know. Everyone says something different, but yeah, so however you say it, I'm sure
we'll figure it out.
Yeah, training camp starts in 11 days. We'll find out then.
Yeah, exactly. Well, as fans, we'll get it together. But yeah, he seems like a really solid, well-rounded player from what I can tell. I wasn't familiar with him until I actually heard this deal. So it was prompted me to go look him up and look up his highlights. And yeah, I was like, I think this is a good move because he seems pretty solid, honestly.
Averages 18 a game. He's only 27, I believe.
Oh, okay. That's crazy. That's my age. The heck?
Yeah, I know, right?
Maybe I should edit that out.
I know it's funny when like they're talking about one of the pundits was talking about Steph Curry and the Warriors. If you didn't hear, Klay Thompson tore his Achilles and will miss the season this season. And hopefully he can just return in general, because usually when you have that type of injury, you don't return the same player as the same player. So,
and after an ACL injury, right, which is another really debilitating one.
Absolutely. He's been such an Iron Man for so long, and now it's just going through it. And wishing him personally, the best. Wishing the Warriors not the best, though, as they were going to be a big-time threat for us getting through the West this year. And they probably still will. But anyway, Steph Curry's name gets brought up because everyone's saying with that injury, the dynasty's over for the Warriors. It's over. Steph Curry's 33. And it's like, oh, yeah, that's really old.
No way.
But so, yeah, it's crazy, right? When you hear someone that it's like he's my age.
Seriously. Or like, yeah, I know. Well, Steph Curry, too. That's crazy. Like for him to be considered old in the NBA, even just, I don't know, maybe for his age, but he's got, I don't know, he doesn't seem any slower than what he is.
Yeah, I mean, I think
he seems just as fine and just as young and spry as before. So
yeah, I think we got to look at age a little bit differently.
Yeah,
because athletes are healthier, they're more knowledgeable. There's a lot of things for them to spend their money in terms of taking care of their body and everything. So
And they do. Yeah, top of the line. So
yeah. So there's been some movement so far. I would say a big surprise is Gallinari leaving Oklahoma City and going to Atlanta.
Why is that? Has he been with Oklahoma for his whole career?
Well, not necessarily that so much. I knew someone was going to overpay him. He's a good player. Is he worth? I think he got $30 million a year. I don't know.
Oh my
he's in
gosh.
that range.
That's crazy. What's the average, would you say, for a not a superstar, not a bench player, just like a role player?
For just a role player?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Just
like
so we can compare that.
Myers Leonard on the Heat plays sparingly. I mean, I'm sure he's a great teammate, great guy, and everything like that. Good in the locker room, but he just re-upped with Miami 2 years for $20 million. So, that'll be $10 million a year. So maybe it's that, because I was looking at that kind of sideways. Like, Myers Leonard gets $10 million a year. Like, he doesn't even play.
That's crazy.
But it's different from when I was growing up, because the salary cap just keeps going up. And so guys make more money these days. There's more money in television rights. There's more money, just overall revenue. Crazy. Although not this year, right? Because there's not the fan revenue coming in.
Right.
People spending for games and stuff.
So salary caps have dropped as a result this season, have you seen?
I'm almost certain it's dropped for this season, unless there's carryover.
Oh, okay.
But next season, for sure.
Got it. Okay, that's where they'll really.
Yeah, if it hasn't caught up already, it'll catch up by next year.
Damn, that's interesting. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, so Gallinari to the Hawks. That's probably my most surprising one, just because in terms of how much he got, and just, I mean, I guess the Hawks are an up and coming team. They have Trae Young. Have you got to watch any of Trae Young's games?
No, but actually my boss just mentioned him today. We were talking a little sports and he mentioned Trae Young. I forgot, what was he? Oh, I think he was comparing his game to the first round picks game and saying they had a similar game. I think that's what he was saying.
Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, whoever was picked first in the draft. I don't think we even mentioned their name. Yeah.
Yes, we will be transitioning into the draft. We have a lot coming up on that here in about, say 3 minutes or so.
But for now.
But right now we're talking moves, we're talking grooves.
And you gotta have both, and a lot of these teams had both. I'm telling you, the movement is incredible. Did Dwight shock you?
A little bit. Like, when it's from your team, it definitely hits a little differently. I don't know.
Totally.
So I felt like people were gonna throw money in his face, and the one I'm really waiting for a sting on is Rondo. I think he might go to the Clippers, to be honest with you.
That's what I heard as well.
But so Dwight to Philly. What's crazy about it is, like, so we want to ring with Dwight. He'll forever be ingrained and etched in Laker lore. But people, I don't know if people remember this, like they should, because it wasn't too long ago. When we were playing Houston in that series, we had to bench all our big guys because Houston played small. And so a lot of times for Dwight, like, he doesn't shoot free throws well. He doesn't really shoot well, right? In today's game, everyone on the court has to be able to shoot.
Yeah.
And so he's kind of a dinosaur to a degree. He's not getting any younger, and so
you're okay with it a little bit? So
it's still, I don't know, it's always so weird. Like, it's like when people leave your team, it's like, oh.
Especially he's done this before, so
But if I'm like sitting there just analyzing it the way it should be analyzed without emotion, right, then you can kind of be like, okay, well, there's maybe some better fits for this year.
Yeah, that's fair.
Again, we put our team together on the fly last year after the whole Kawhi stuff.
Yeah, I think that, and like just Clippers like possibly growing into a threat. I think it like kicked us into gear of like, hey, we need to kind of build up here. We need to not like just settle on like the what we have, but just continue to build. So, and we're doing that. You can feel it. So it's exciting.
And speaking of teams who are looking to build, the draft just came and went on Wednesday.
That is the building blocks of the build of these teams. So that's where it all starts. Exactly. So did you watch the whole thing, or what was your experience with it?
So you know me. I don't deviate ever from a draft. Especially
at least first couple rounds.
I watched like every damn pick I watched.
For NBA?
And that with an NFL draft, because NFL draft, it's over the span of 3 days, and Saturday in the later rounds, the later picks goes from like 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And I watched.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know, maybe because we're all quarantined. Yeah, I don't know. But or you know what it was too, because the Vikings had the most draft history in NFL history.
Oh, that's
most draft
cool.
picks.
Were we in every round?
I'm not sure if we're in every round, but we had like 15 draft picks or something like that. There's only 7 rounds, so.
Oh, watch out, everyone.
Yeah.
Building.
The NBA draft, though.
It's fun, huh?
I usually, I don't know. I'm not too big into college basketball or college football for that matter. I'm just not into a league where if I know there's a better league, then I'm not too there's too many players, too many teams to keep. I like keeping my eye on the Pac-12, obviously, West Coast, Best Coast.
Right.
So you keep an eye out on kind of like your region. But I usually do all my scouting for college basketball during March Madness, during the tournament. Yes. I feel like that's where people kind of raise to the occasion, or maybe they don't. And we didn't get that, obviously. And so for me, I knew more people than I thought I would, but I still didn't really know too many people. And so I watched all the first round, and then I would say maybe into like the 40s or so for the second round.
Dang.
Yeah.
How many picks are there?
There's 60, so there's just 2 rounds. Usually you can't get me to take my eyes off it.
So two rounds 30 each, or 2 rounds 60 each?
30 each. Yeah.
Okay, I was like,
so 2 rounds of 30. Yeah, 60 picks in total.
Got it.
And you mentioned Anthony Edwards. He was the first pick out of Georgia. Okay. He's from Atlanta. I watched a little background on him. Committed to Georgia because he's from there and didn't want to leave his family. Lost his grandmother and his mother. Oh my gosh. So wanted to stay local, and
that's awesome.
He's going to Minnesota. So now Minnesota has their young core of Karl Anthony Towns, D'Angelo Russell. Remember that name?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I do.
Now they have Anthony Edwards. My thing was, he had a very peculiar quote, though. You want to know what it was?
Yeah. Wait, when you before you say it, this is a quote that he said as a famous quote or inspirational quote, or this is just something he said that you're quoting?
Something he said that I'm quoting.
Okay.
That he said in an interview, basically leading into him getting drafted number 1. He said, basically, I'm paraphrasing, but that he doesn't really. It almost came off like he didn't really like basketball. Like he's like,
what?
Yeah, no, I don't watch it. NBA is boring. Like I don't watch it.
He said he doesn't watch NBA and it's boring.
Paraphrasing, yeah.
Yeah. What?
And I'm just like, what? Again, you forget these people. They just have a gift. Like I wonder what percentage of NFL players are like, do you think I like this? Like, it pays me really well. It's not bad for a first job out of college. It's only, you pay me to work out, I guess. So that's not too bad. But do I like, the practices or the coaches, trying to come at me with all this bravado and bullshit? It's like,
yeah.
So I feel like some of these, say a lineman where you just block, don't really get a lot of recognition and you don't get the ball and everything. Like, a lot of these guys are just like, well, I'm big, I'm good at what I do, but do I love this job? Hell no.
Yeah.
So maybe he's like that. Like, hey, look, I can play basketball. Obviously, I was just drafted number 1, but do I is it my passion? No.
Yeah, it could be that. I just feel like, those players that play out of passion have a very different career and trajectory, of course, than the guys that don't. So That's all it is. If you play like that without passion and treat it like a job, it's definitely, you're right. But it'll, like, if you put in the minimum, you're going to receive the minimum from the experience or from that type of career. I only say that too because it does, for some reason, like when you say that the linebackers in football, like if they just think of it as a job, that doesn't bother me. But for some reason, like thinking of basketball players thinking that way, and maybe because I like basketball more, I don't know. For some reason, that's like, damn, that's a bummer. If some
football, it's like, because maybe you're like, it's only 17 weeks. As far as games go and stuff, there's still preseason training camp and everything like that. So it's a little bit longer, and you only play one side of the ball. So like, you are blocking, you are hitting, everything like that. You're bruising your body and putting your body through it. But, basketball, again, I always say it's the one sport, contact sport for the most part, maybe rugby comes to mind, that there's no equipment.
Yeah.
And like people think basketball, I get, it's like, some of these kids are soft, AAU, and they're all friends and everything like that. And I totally get it. But at the same time, and it's like, it doesn't matter if you're friends or not, or if you played at AAU or you're a little softer, like still coming off, a screen into like, say, a double screen and getting hit. That's bone on bone.
Yeah.
And it takes a toll as well. Like that, and you run into teams that are just physical.
Totally.
And teams that like their screens are a little extra harder. Their fouls there's a little more juice in their fouls. There's a little more in your face. Like they're a little more, they're a little more
rowdy.
Yeah, exactly. And so
rowdy teams.
You don't have there's no shin guards. There's no like rib protectors, there's no shoulder pads or helmets or anything like that. And so you're just, it's bone on bone, body on body. And those hits take a toll. And
yes.
So.
And then the skillful players, even more skillful and professional players, are dunking or flying through the air essentially. And, again, they don't get equipment for special equipment for dunking or anything. I mean, you can get concussed in basketball for sure.
That's why people don't drive to the rim, right? Because even if you get nailed and they call a foul, it's like, okay, cool, foul on them, but I'm still seeing like 50 right now. Like, exactly. I'm at the free throw line seeing 50 rims,
just stars.
Like, still got whacked, man.
Yeah, just freaking.
Like, the foul doesn't really do justice of what your face just had to go through.
But not only do you have to shake it off, you have to go make a basket as well. You do. The one that got pummeled, get back over here. And shoot.
Are hard on their own.
Gosh, I know.
So yeah, crazy. Not sure Anthony Edwards loves basketball.
Yeah, that's so
but maybe he's just good at it. One of those things like I'm really good at it, but
we will find out. Now, one of the Ball sons got drafted.
Yes.
Third pick, right? Sorry, second pick. We skipped you. We're going third.
James Wiseman, you're going to Golden State.
Wiseman.
You're a wise man. Going to Golden State. You're going to play with Steph, the Chef Curry.
Lucky bastard.
He's going to pick it up for you because
you lucky son of a gun.
To be, usually you go to a horrible franchise and a rebuilding team and all this stuff, and you get to go and play with, your coach is Steve Kerr, and
that's pretty awesome.
So he's in good hands. He's a center. We'll see what he does.
He's a center.
He's supposed to be really talented. Yeah, at least he brings that team a presence down low. They need a big.
Yeah, they do.
But LaMelo Ball goes to Charlotte Hornets.
LaMelo. Okay, so here's what I hear about him. Correct me if I'm wrong. He is a better basketball player than Lonzo, but he's got. I guess he like runs his mouth more, or he's not as humble. Maybe is what I've heard. Some along those lines.
He's immature.
Okay.
So if the Warriors would have drafted him, he would have had to grow up quick. Now, hopefully.
Why do you say that? Out of curiosity.
Because the Warriors already have a championship pedigree. They have a championship identity.
Got it.
Steph Curry and Steve Kerr aren't going to put up with shenanigans.
Gotcha.
Like,
They won't. He won't be able to run the show in Golden State.
Right. You go if you're a talented player and you go to, I don't know, Charlotte Hornets, like he's doing. They better hope the culture is strong, because if they just let him do what he wants, I mean, I know they have Michael Jordan as the owner, so maybe that does something. I don't know. But if that was the case, then Hornets, wouldn't they have been decent? Like, I don't know, for the last decade.
Well, maybe they're having problems finding like skillful players, but maybe Michael Jordan knows how to handle like crazy attitudes and personalities. So maybe in terms of that, he could hone him down. I don't know how involved
he is, huh?
Yeah.
They do have our former GM, Mitch Kupchak, over there as their GM now. So.
Oh, Kupchak, that's where he went. Okay.
Yeah.
I just wondered.
So, yeah, I think he has a chance to be really fun. I feel like when I see his highlights, he has some kind of old school moves and like off the dribble, spin, do a spinning kind of behind the back pass, stuff that I really like.
Really? Okay, that's dope.
Yeah. Yeah, and he can shoot, like he really can shoot, but I thought Lonzo could shoot too, and that wasn't the case. So
yeah, that's another thing is learning from Lonzo is, they don't always, their college skill doesn't always translate to NBA for whatever reason. Could be extra high, and there's a lot of pressure, and that makes sense, A
lot of pressure. There's so much pressure that we don't even
see.
And some guy, it's like, it's okay, like, some people peak at different times. Like,
yes,
some people are really good in high school, and they're really, really good high school players, and that's it. And that's where like that line gets crossed, and then it goes on and on. So
some people peak
are good enough to get to the NBA, but aren't good enough to compete with those guys.
Totally. Yeah, some people peak in a YBL game randomly on a snowy winter night in Idaho, just popping off shots one game.
Little ones.
That was me. Yeah. It was a great day. What I also heard too was that, because now we have LeVar Ball back. Is it LeVar? Is that his name?
Yeah, he's been very, very quiet though.
Yes, but now he's got a son in the NBA again. So I just feel like we're going to get a little more LeVar Ball, which will
the middle son who didn't make it.
Gosh, yeah, that's a shame.
He should have stole from China. That was his downfall.
Oh, yeah.
He was the one that stole from China, yeah.
Oh, dang. Well, you got to learn the hard way sometimes. But I heard that LeVar Ball wore a hat that said, "I told you so."
He didn't tell anybody nothing. He said all three of his kids would get to the league and play on the same team and all that stuff. So,
well, he said that, LaMelo, is that this new kid's name?
Yeah.
Okay. That he was going to get drafted as the number 1 pick. He said that like years ago. I think when Lonzo got drafted or something. So that's what, and I guess, this is what I heard. I guess in an interview, he was like, and then I'll come back here and tell you I told you so. So that's literally why he wore the hat. He's close, 3rd pick.
Hey, close, you get 2 sons in the league. That's crazy. I mean,
the only family to do it in the top, like 2 top 5 picks or something.
Yeah, they are the only brothers in history to be drafted in the top 5.
Wow.
They went 2, and then
the only in history. That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. They could brag on that.
Or something, right?
Yeah, we'll give him that.
He did something right. He had boys that are talented.
I'd like to see. I wonder how he is because it just feels like such an act in front of the cameras.
Oh, yeah.
Wonder how he is for reals. He's probably. What if he's like a really nice, polite man?
Cool.
That would be funny.
Challenging Michael Jordan.
Oh yeah.
So I was wrong. I thought he was going to be quiet this time around.
Maybe it's just in jest. Who knows?
Did you hear about? This might be off topic, and I can edit or move this around later, but did you hear, I think some former basketball player said that Kevin Durant, in his opinion, is the best player in the league right now, not LeBron James. Have you heard of this? Who? I'm glad you know what I'm talking about, because I forgot.
No, actually don't. Wait, no,
because you're literally asking. I can look that up.
It's the dumbest statement I've ever heard.
It was probably Kevin Durant on one of his burner accounts.
It's like Durant
himself.
Get off your burner account and quit being hurt and come play basketball. Last time I checked, LeBron James was hosting a trophy.
Let's see. Ooh, Durant. How do
And
you
not
feel
you.
about it?
And he didn't have to join a dynasty to do it.
Okay. Who said it?
If James Harden goes,
it's Anthony Edwards. Oh, isn't that the first
come on.
pick? Oh, I thought it was a former.
You don't even watch NBA.
Oh my gosh, I thought it was like a prestige. See, I just read the name. I assumed it was a former NBA player. Now that I'm talking to you and know the name, I'm like, wait. This makes zero sense, and that's why the statement itself makes zero sense. Got it.
What a scrud.
Why don't you look in the mirror, scrud?
Kayla Pratt, if you're out there, meet Kayla Conboy.
I love you.
Protege.
Why do you say that? Why do you say it? I should ask Jay if he feels the same way.
J-Bone. J-Bird.
Wait, do you still have Laguna Beach on DVD? Isn't that what that's from? J-Bone.
J-Bone, I think, is from Wedding Crashers when they go to Will Ferrell. When Will Ferrell, it's like, how's my protege? And
Oh,
like,
yes.
Jeremy, I think Owen Wilson says Jeremy, and he's like, J-Bone.
That's right. That's right. Oh, Lord.
Breaking news.
What?
John Wall of the Wizards, who it feels like hasn't played since freaking last decade.
Yeah, I thought he retired.
Just requested a trade.
He requested
the Wizards. Stars made it clear he wants out of Washington and wants to move on.
That's all he said? Does he have a preference as to where? He doesn't say.
I don't know. These guys who have preferences, unless it's the Lakers, we don't care about it.
I mean, it's just crazy. He's like, I want to leave.
We're open to listening.
Would you want John Wall on the Lakers?
No, because I haven't seen him play in forever.
Yeah, like, who is this man? He'd have to audition. Try out.
Go to Molly's team.
Go to tryouts. Who's Molly's team?
The Lakers.
Someone who wants John Wall.
Oh, stop.
Yeah, I thought she's a Laker fan. Wait, what's going on?
She's diehard. Wait, what did I just get? Oh,
Yeah.
Christian Woods. Or Wood, sorry.
Marla Hooch. Yeah, Marla Hooch.
She's in A League of Their Own, Friends, and then one of my personal favorite movies, Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Wait, she's in Friends? Oh, yes, she's in Friends. She shoots Phoebe. Good.
Yeah, and she's super funny in Robin Hood Men in Tights. Man.
Oh, okay. I kind of remember her. Oh, my gosh.
Have you seen that movie, Robin Hood Men in Tights?
Bits and parts.
Dude, you would like it. Go check it out. When you want to watch something like just silly and slappy and just,
Actually,
dumb comedy.
I remember the actor who plays Robin Hood in that movie because he plays in something like some other stuff too. And then yes, Liar Liar. Yes. So I've seen him, and then I just know the scene where the big guy is drowning, quote unquote, in the shallow.
Little John.
Yeah, Little John, exactly.
I can't swim. Save myself. Oh, Dave Chappelle's in there.
Oh, really? Oh my gosh. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
He's always in random stuff.
His character is Achu.
No. Achu?
And so every time he introduces himself, they're like, oh, bless you. He's like, no, man, that's my name.
Achu. Oh, wait. I'll be right back. I forgot I made coffee. 1 second.
Did you put creamer?
Hell yeah.
You drink it straight.
I mean, I can if that's my only option. I'll take it like a G. But I prefer creamer. Really, you can do it?
You're hardcore. I cannot drink coffee black. Hell no.
That's crazy. Grandma, that's what she prefers. I'll probably turn into that though. Or I aspire to.
Grandma likes to put the Baileys in it. Maybe not coffee, but.
Oh, that's good though. That's called an Irish coffee.
Cool. So yeah, a lot of good stuff happening in NBA. Teams just really improving, which is good. The Pistons must have had a lot of money. They've gotten a lot of players.
Did Clippers have any good draft picks?
Do they even have a draft pick?
I don't know that. I think they traded their draft pick. They did have a trade with Detroit. And I'm thinking of the third team. It was a 3-way trade. Anyway, they ended up getting Luke Kennard from Detroit. He's a guard from Duke. He's probably been in the league for a few years. And I don't know. They traded away Landry Shamet, who's another young player. He's a sharpshooter. I don't really know why they traded him. So it was a really likable trade for me because I feel like Landry Shamet is or will be in the near future better than Kennard. But they got Kennard from Detroit. So
maybe that guy pissed off the wrong person or something. Sometimes that could be all it takes. If said something rude about the owner or something the owner took offense. So who knows? It's crazy what could happen.
That is spot on. Yeah. No, it's sometimes it has nothing to do with their talent or the way they play basketball, and it's more how they are as a person.
That's where my mind goes when you're like, I don't know why they would do that, because you're just thinking of skill, you're thinking of camaraderie.
I think Kennard's stats may be slightly better than Shamet, but I think overall Shamet has more upside. So he's not with the Clippers any longer either.
Wow. Wow. Clippers are kind of...
The Clippers had a lot of drama last year, and so Montrezl Harrell was kind of at the center of some of that drama. So for him to bounce... I feel like he could have got probably more money elsewhere too. So I feel like he wants to win. He wants to join a team like LeBron's. And more importantly, I think he wants to obviously stick it to the Clippers. Yeah.
That's a huge, huge one probably. And then he gets to stay in LA, it's another hey.
Not have to change addresses for sure.
To change it all. Good for his family or whoever, lives with them. So
who we have not brought up?
Who?
Who's the biggest free agent in this class and happens to be incredibly impactful to our Lakers is Anthony Davis.
So I freaked out when I saw that Anthony Davis opted out of his deal. Then I contacted Jacob immediately and asked what the flip and flap is going on. And you told me not to worry. Why do you say that again?
So he was going to opt out anyway because he's going to sign a long-term, or maybe not even long-term. It may be sign a 4-year deal with the option to opt out in the third year or something like that. This is becoming the norm now where teams don't lock themselves in and players don't lock themselves into this long drawn out contract. When I was growing up, the max used to be a 7-year deal,
Jeez.
The max deal. So you were literally a team, if they made the wrong decision on you, or if you were one of those players that did really well in a contract year, got your money and was like, yeah, I'm Anthony Edwards and I don't really like NBA. Bug it.
Yeah, for real.
Then you could just sit and collect for 7 years. And that's pretty much a decade. And I would throw teams back, with the severity that would throw you back is just unspeakable because teams like the Knicks, I remember they signed this guy named Jerome James. So this huge deal. The Knicks did this a few times because it's the Knicks, but
they'll never learn.
Will be relevant. My God. But so this guy just maybe lost his ambition to play or didn't love it, whatever the case. And Knicks had to, you can't trade him because it's who wants to pay this guy who's not very good? And you guys, but at the end of the day, they offered it to him. So it's not really, they offered it to him. And so.
Yeah, if you offer it.
You're worth what someone's willing to pay you. That's your worth.
Very true. Very true.
Hey. So Anthony Davis's contract, not too worried about it. He'll be back in purple and gold.
When will we know for sure? When will we get the notice?
He said Thanksgiving at the earliest, or after Thanksgiving.
At the earliest? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
No.
we'll be patient.
Speaking of purple and gold, let's transition from a round ball to a football.
Yes, pigskin.
And the purple and gold
Holy hell.
actually won a primetime game Monday night, but we won in Chicago. Let me repeat that. Kirk Cousins won on Monday night. He had been 0-9 all time. And we won in Chicago, breaking a losing streak of what feels like forever. Maybe it was 5 games. I don't care. And that's overall losing streak. So we've been swept by the Bears the last 2 seasons. But more importantly, winning in Chicago, I've literally seen it twice in my life. Maybe this was the 3rd time. I don't know. I don't even know how many times I've seen it because it's been so rare.
And
because
of that, why don't you share with our audience who your survivor pick was?
So we explained the survivor game.
I don't think so.
Okay. Basically, you pick one team who you think is going to win for the week. Pick one team, one game. Whoever's playing the Jets type of thing. I'll just pick them. You get one winner right, and that would be your pick. The thing is, once you use that team, you can't use them again.
Oh, okay.
And so every week has to be a different team that you haven't used.
Damn.
So I picked the Bears because I never made it this far. And so I was still in it. And I was like, okay, I'll pick the Bears because there's no way Kirk Cousins is going to win on a Monday night. He's 0-9. And there's even more of an obstacle of us winning in Chicago.
Yes.
And for us to do that when Dalvin Cook didn't have his best game, Chicago's defense is good. Let's just say what it is. They're really good. Their offense is where they struggle, but their defense is really, really good. And Dalvin Cook struggled, and I don't, it's not hard to see why. And so I was really impressed with Kirk Cousins. I thought he managed the game super well. He didn't look like I always refer to him last year on Christmas Eve, basically when they're playing on Monday night, or I think it was the 23rd. So the day before Christmas Eve. And he just kept reaching up to his helmet, shit, this is such a big game. I'm on Monday night playing Green Bay. He looked within himself, and it was.
Dude, I kind of remember that, I think.
Yeah. I think we talked about it that either the day after or whatever. And I was just going on.
Yes, we were low heated that day. And yeah, I do remember that. Oh my gosh. So that's what you saw was a really big difference, was basically the composure and confidence of our quarterback that changed the game.
A lot of credit to him. He if you can just bottle that up and drink that every damn time, every Sunday, bottle what you did there and just come out and again, rinse, lather, repeat. And not to mention too, the defense did really well. I know they didn't have too big of a challenge because it's not like Chicago's offense is really that good. But the defense is starting to fortify a little bit with all our young players. And speaking of young players, we got a wide receiver named Justin Jefferson. He's the real deal. He's definitely he's basically a younger Stephon Diggs.
Where did we get him from?
We got him in the draft from LSU. He was our first round pick.
Nice. So he is looking promising.
He's definitely promising. This is me maybe being a little braggadocious, I guess, but there was a lot of first round wide receivers picked this past year, and he's looking there's some decent ones already. It's going to be a good class. When we look back on this class of wide receivers, especially in the first round, we're going to be damn, there's some talent. Those are some names now. But he's kind of emerging as the cream of the crop.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Still a lot of football left to be played this season and beyond. But at the same time, for the start of it, it's Justin Jefferson, we got one.
That's awesome to hear because, there was some sort of void, if you will, when Stephon Diggs left that I don't feel has been filled just yet. So that's cool to hear, honestly.
Yeah. Did you catch highlights of that game, by the way?
No, I did not. So that's why I was asking, what you noticed was the big difference because
you'll be pleased. You'll like Kirk Cousins' demeanor. You'll like defense, coming together. you'll really like what you see out of Justin Jefferson. And then Adam Thielen had a one-handed touchdown catch. That was pretty.
Those are always pretty. Those are so work of arts. I mean, yeah, it's weird. I think maybe because we were like considered the underdogs in this one and in the Packers game. Like, I'm still surprised that we beat the Packers, and then right after we beat the Bears. Like, I don't know.
And in between that, we beat the Lions.
God.
So we just went boom, boom, boom in our division, which now we're 4-5. We're back in the playoff picture. At least, we play the Dallas Cowgirls on Sunday.
That's what I hear. How do you feel about that matchup?
They're coming off every week scares me because it is the NFL. So, like, it doesn't matter who you're playing. Because even if you should win and you don't, like, you come out, like, that hurts too or whatever. So, it's the NFL. They're all professionals. They all get paychecks to play. And they all have pride. These are the best of the best. And so it doesn't matter if the Cowboys aren't having a good season and have a historically bad defense and Dak Prescott's hurt. So Andy Dalton's their quarterback right now. And just seems like they're in a lot of turbulence and chaos with their coach and just a lot of stories coming out of Dallas. It all doesn't matter because, you suit up and you play. And if we don't bring it or if we're turnover prone where if you don't beat yourself, you have such a good chance to win the game. But if you're throwing interceptions or fumbles or just, bullshit like that, you're just giving them more opportunities to beat you. And usually you pay for it.
Yeah. And if Cowboys have so much animosity within their franchise, this is a aggressive contact sport. Maybe they'll just take that aggression out in the game, which, a lot of players I'm sure try. So, coming off a bye, so they're rested. Ezekiel Elliott, their running back, he hasn't had a good season. He's like their superstar running back, hasn't had a good season. He's rested. Like he wants to come and kind of assert himself. So we got to be ready for that. And technically we're on a short week, right? We played Monday. Now we turn around and play Sunday. We don't have the full week. So we need to bring it. We win this game, we're 5-5. And then, next week we play Teddy B in Carolina. And this is the first game of a 3-game homestand. So we're home the next 3 games against Dallas, winnable, Carolina, winnable, Jacksonville, winnable. We need to take advantage. And then I think the next time we're on the road is at Tom Brady's Buccaneers. So we play Tom Brady this year, but. Okay, well, that'll be interesting. Yeah, I'm with you. So
we could be 7-5 by the time we're going to Tampa Bay. So these are winnable games. This is how you make playoffs, like going runs like this, and it would be a remarkable turnaround.
That would be the dream. Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you, where I'm always gonna worry too every week because we've been through every type of loss before. Yes, exactly. And their Vikings just throw us for a damn loop because I'll be like we said, we thought they were going to lose against the Packers and the Bears. Well, they kill it. And we're like, okay, holy shit. And then they're supposed to play an easy team like the Cowboys. I was supposed to call them Cowgirls without thinking about Cowboys. Like that was their name. Whoa. Okay. But yeah, or like these winnable games, and then we could maybe just be overly confident or overly comfortable, and then not win those games. So I just feel like we've been through the ringer of every type of loss. So I know that they're capable, but we're also capable of every type of win, as I've also seen. So
yeah, we've seen miracles. So we play in the afternoon window games, so we're not in the morning.
Oh, okay.
Which is weird. And we're at home. Usually, if that's the case, we're on the road somewhere or whatever. But we're playing at home afternoon games, so. Be interesting. Oh, I'll have to tell Graham we're playing her team.
I know.
Hey, and that was a game me and you watched last year together.
Yes, that's so true. Around this time. Oh my gosh, that's so wild in Portland. Although this time last year I was in Argentina, but it was around the same time for sure. But I was just thinking that'd be crazy if it was on the same date. But very close.
I know.
How wild. Do we always play Cowboys this time every year?
It's just happenstance. I don't think it's calculated in any kind of way when they go to make the schedule, but
Someone's low-key calculating it. Someone's sneaking it in every time. Like, I really love this matchup. We're going to sneak it in around November.
Actually, I think
no one cares about November. Like, someone's doing it.
They say the season doesn't start till after Turkey Day, but we'll see.
Do you know what that process is like for making up the schedule? Like, who does that and how do they choose and what do they consider? Do you know?
Obviously, it's the league, but I'm like forgetting what department it is, and it's all computerized.
Oh, really?
And they do it. There's like, oh my god, they'll do like the schedule almost a zillion different ways, and like, because there's so many things to factor in. Like, can't have all this team like have their first 8 games be home games, and then they're on an 8-game road trip. Like, so you have to balance it out. There's got to be strength of schedule. It has to all work with the venues.
Yes. The division standings, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. Like primetime games.
Yeah, that must be hard. I mean, I know you said it's computerized, but.
Yeah, they do it a few different ways. Like, so the Vikings have like 200 different schedules, and they pick one of them for each team. But it has to like
coincide.
They go and be like, okay, this is going to be their schedule, and this can be this. Like, they have to.
Yeah, consistent schedules.
It would seem very hard. I feel like I could do it, but.
I bet you could. Yeah, if you just knew like the algorithm, then you'd be like, okay, cool. I know what to plug in now and like what to do.
Yeah.
But
because I could do every team's schedule super easy.
Really? You think you could do that? Do you think you could put together a schedule right now just based off what you know? Like you said, the prime times, the balance of home versus...
To me, that's what would be the hard part about it.
Yes, totally. That's like making a schedule for employees or something. And like, where employees have certain availabilities and certain days they can work and...
Exactly. It's like, oh, okay, we want to put the Rams on Monday night here, but Taylor Swift is performing here or something. So
venue is not available. That's like,
I don't know how they do all that. Then I suppose the flights are all later and everything, but I would love to get more insight on it, even though I've seen some stuff on it, but.
No, that'd be cool. They need to tell us like the details. I'd be interested to know. Go behind the scenes in some sort of way to see what that process is, because we take it for granted, but it's a very exciting process. In sports, you're, oh my gosh, when's the new schedule coming out? What's it look like? And it can determine how people bet. It can determine how people travel and watch a game. It's just like it's this little thing. We don't realize how powerful that it is, and these people are just creating them every year. And computers, of course.
Yeah, it's that. And then I want to see, like, I think I've told you this before, but from start to finish, 2 things that really, really interest me is that I want to see, like, start to finish how a trade gets executed. Like, if you pick up the phone, you're like, hey, look, we're looking to, and then how the paperwork gets sent in, how the players get notified, like, blah, blah, blah. I want to see that from start to damn finish where, like, like we start with that phone call, and then I get to see that player who was traded in their jersey playing a game. I want to see that.
Yes, that'd be fascinating too.
Fascinating. And then I also want to see, like, start to finish how a movie gets made. Like, hey, here's my idea. I wrote it down on a freaking sticky note here. And then I kind of like wrote like how you wrote the dialogue, how the scene, like, because it's called the screenplay, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So the screenplay.
And then read it, like how you got it to be a screenplay, how you got it to be approved by the studio, how you thought this actor was good for it, how you had auditions, pick this for your site. I want to know from start to finish, like, so from start, like the idea is in your head, or, how the idea got developed in your head. And then from finish, like where we're watching the credits to the movie. Like, in the theaters.
Dude, I'll say there's some things I've seen here and there with Tarantino that give insight on some of those things, like the writing and stuff. But I feel like the thing that like closely resembles that is that behind the scenes in the Friends DVD that shows how I love that. I watch that every so often because it just soothes me. It is so fascinating. You saw it, or
incredible? I just discovered that not too long ago.
Really? Oh my gosh, I love that. Yeah, it is. It is fascinating. You get to go in the writer's room. You get to see the Foley artists
thing.
or Foley, I think it's called, where you can like add the sound effects basically.
Oh my God.
You see the filming, of course. You see them write and rewrite
All the
jokes
different
on
camera
set.
angles and edits that they have.
Yes, all the cameras. Yeah, all the,
And
the
it's like
whole
the
setup.
decisions would be like, do we want to show them this way or do we want to show them on this camera?
Yes,
Like,
the blocking is huge, and it just, I think people assume it's boring to everyone, so they never really talk about it or do behind the scenes on blocking, but blocking is huge and it's everything, and I want to see it. And so they do show that. It's so cool.
also blocking.
Blocking's like where you set up where the camera's going to be, and then you put the marks, you know, where people say get on your mark, like to actors. That's what that refers to. They literally put tape down, say you're an actor. They'd be like, okay, here's your first mark. Your mark is blue. It says Jacob on it. You're going to stand here. Then after your line, you're going to walk over to your second mark. That's in red. It says Jacob. And you're going to stand right there and say your second line. Like, it literally tells you where to go and what to do.
Nice.
It's crazy. So that you're always in frame, always in good lighting, or the lighting they want, and planned and calculated. So that's super cool. But yeah, I love showing them.
Ladies and gentlemen, all you film majors, there's some free knowledge. You just got lesson in blocking.
You at least know, what it is. Now you can go learn to do it and the art of it. But
blocking in football and in film.
Yes, we bring it all together. Blocking is what brings us together. But it's cool. They also write a joke on set with Matthew Perry. He helps write a joke on set, and you get to see that process. That's so exciting for me.
Just the whole, for them being like, they didn't laugh hard enough at this,
Yes.
I'm going to say it this way or whatever. Yeah, I feel like I want to watch that now.
And then Jennifer Aniston says something in that exact part. Tell me if you can catch it. She says something that's a little condescending. I'm almost bummed about it because I'm like, oh, that's kind of bitchy. But
Which part?
So it's after. It's that exact part where they rework a joke, basically, and they say the joke on the script, and no one really laughs, and they cut it, and they're like, no one's really laughing. Let's change that joke. And then Jennifer Aniston says something along the lines of, and I'm paraphrasing myself, but maybe this audience isn't smart enough to get it, and maybe most audiences will get it. Like, she basically calls the audience stupid for not laughing. So I'm like, ouch. But then Matthew Perry comes in and saves the day, and he's like, well, why don't we just say this? And then they put it in the show, and it's in the show. And it's his line, so he delivers it beautifully, and it's all good.
That's what we know.
That's what we love. But yeah, they would go to him for lines all the time. I think that's so cool. Okay, do you have, for fantasy football, do you have a fantasy flavor of the week for us?
Flavor of the week.
Take us to Flavor Town.
I would say there's two people on the Patriots that you wouldn't expect their offense. Again, Cam Newton, I don't know if he's even healthy, the way he's throwing the ball. And it's just, I don't know. New England doesn't have any playmakers. However, if you play in a PPR league, I would definitely consider their wide receiver, Jacoby Myers. He's got a sweet name.
Jacoby.
First name.
Are you considering adding a Y to your name?
No, I'm gonna consider it.
Yeah, I thought you might. It's worth considering.
Anytime you can add a Y to something, it's just becomes cute. Go ahead, add a Y.
I mean, my work's already been done. I got a Y. I got a Y, dude. I got a Y.
Kaylee.
That would be Kayla, actually, if I add the Y instead of replace. Yeah, Kayla.
But Jacoby Myers is putting up double digits in his last 3 games. You want to consider him. And then their running backs, actually, Patriots. Both these guys are on the Patriots. Okay. Their running back, I think they found someone in Damian Harris. And he's kind of touchdown dependent, meaning, he needs a touchdown to really make you have a big day at running back, but he's still serviceable. I think he exited last week's game because he got hurt, I believe. That was against Baltimore. But anyway, he's surging and is getting double digits, and I think 2 out of his last 3. So he'd be someone to stream if you need a substitute or just looking for a player to switch things up because your team's stale and you're on a 4-game losing streak like I am in our league.
Damn, you just called your team stale, you guys. Just kidding.
Yeah, my team. Names I shall not repeat. Because I don't want to cause bad morale in my locker room. You know who you are.
Dang.
So those are your flavor of the week.
And hey, if anybody follows these instructions or gets these flavors, let us know how it works out for you. And
yeah, how does it taste? Does the taste bitter because they didn't do shit and I guided you in the wrong direction?
And is it all Jacob's fault?
Savory? Is it a taste of savory delight?
What about sweet taste too? No one's sweet in football? Probably not. All savory and manly.
You know what's sweet is when someone names a show JocKstrap.
That is very sweet. It's sweet because it's what do you call it? It's what's the word I'm looking for? You know when something's like cute and quirky?
Insidious.
No, damn that word. In that movie.
Ambivalent.
And I'm what is it?
If anyone knows what ambivalent means, let me know.
And don't lie, please. Thank you. No, what's the word? Endearing. Whatever I was talking about is endearing.
Yes, JocKstraps can be endearing.
Yes, exactly.
Well, hopefully the Vikings get a big win. That helped my weekend. And everyone, stay tuned on NBA free agency. I feel like some trades are going to drop here soon. Keep monitoring. The NBA is on fire. It's just so much fun when there's shifts and movements in the league, and just a lot of fun. Training camp in 11 days. Holy shit. Buckle up. We didn't even get time to enjoy a victory cigar.
I know. It's because the Dodgers won. They're like, because you got 2 teams victories, you have a shorter celebration time.
Yeah. We will dive into other moves that are made within the week. Can't wait to get on that in our Thanksgiving edition of JocKstrap.
Stay tuned. Buckle up your pilgrim buckles. We're going to get Thanksgiving, okay? Give thanks. Well, damn,
cool. Let us know what you guys think. Still waiting for someone to debate me on golf.
Oh, speaking of, I saw this podcast that I watch regularly with this comedian who surprisingly agreed with you on the definition of sports. You're not alone. Just know that. This guy was asked, the comedians were asked if bowling was a sport. So that's what they're debating on. And he said no. He said he thought sports was when, like, he defined as a sport as a physical competition that you play with your competitor at the same time. That's how he put it, which basically is the same, way you just said with defense, which is basically what he's saying. So interesting. So there is a little legitimacy. There is a group of believers who do believe this definition. So again, if you are not one of these believers,
but if you agree, call us out.
Okay, bye everyone.
Catch you later.